Hi there and welcome to a demo on Lists and Notes app. So when you first start up, this is how it looks. There's no list yet, and if you click across to the Notes tab, there's no notes, of course, as well. So let's go ahead and create our first list so that we can go through and demo some of this. If I click here, you can see I can add a new list there. I could import a list. I'm going to go ahead and create a list just from here. Let's just call this a simple trip planning list. And it's personal, and let's go with low. Let's add some items. So I always need to remember to take my camera. Maybe I need my passport for this trip. Perhaps I want to take some sunscreen. Maybe I'm going to somewhere sunny. What else might I want to pack? I want to pack my charger, my chargers. I want to pack. What else might pack for this one here? Actually, let's leave it at this for. I'm struggling to think of some other things, so let's leave it for a moment. You can see here options to delete the list. If I decide I don't need this list, it does add it to the trash and it's recoverable for 14 days. I can export the list. This is exporting to a JSON format, so this is really more about backing up or doing an export of this in case you need to import it again in the future. Exporting text, that simply does export a text list of the items, so that's a nice simple export if you're wanting a simple text export, and you can also copy it to the clipboard, which then allows you to go ahead and paste it into an email or paste it into something else depending on what sort of list you're using. And I'm going to go ahead and save changes. You'll notice that there's nothing here about using the AI. That's because we haven't configured the AI. So let's actually do from there. Let's go ahead and we'll jump across and we will actually just add in an AI API key. So I like to use Claude, so I'm going to paste in something here. So let me pause for a second. Okay, so I've added my key. You can see it's just here in the settings. Just while we're in the settings, I'll just quickly run through. Currently it's defaulting to a fast model, but you can switch it to a different model as well. And you can do the same with OpenIO, so it gives you a couple of options there. If we want to enable AI features, you see it's checked at the moment, you can disable. You can select your language for the responses. So there's just a few selections there. Perhaps it makes sense to customize depending on what language you're using. And you can see here the default tab currently is list, but you can make it your notes tab if you prefer every time the app loads or you refresh that it goes to one or the other. There is also the light and dark theme. Well, basically dark mode's quite nice there as well. So if I just jump back to list really briefly, you can see here I have dark mode available for the app as well. So let's just switch it back to light mode for this demo. You can see options for some fonts, font size as well, depending on how you like to see your screen. And you can customize some paper sizes there as well, good for exporting your PDFs. There is options to export all your data, restore, backup, and clear all data. We might go through some of this a little bit more later as well, but you can see here also the option to add some categories as well and customize those. So just jumping back to our lists, now that I've configured an API key, I want to jump back in, and you'll see here now there's option to AI suggest. So remember before I mentioned that I'm struggling to think what I need to pack. So let's see if AI can make some suggestions here for me. So it's suggesting travel insurance. Okay, well, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Some luggage tags, maybe I don't need those. My medications, oh yeah, I always forget those. Booking confirmations, always good to have. Travel adapter, I'm going to include that with my chargers at the moment. So comfortable walking shoes, yeah, I always remember my shoes. That's okay. And hotel reservations, my toiletries. Yes, I need to remember my toiletries. So now I can go ahead and add those. And then it adds those to the list. So that AI suggest is working off the information that's in this list already to recommend some changes. So I'm really happy with that now. And let's go ahead and create another list. So if I add another list here, this time I'm going to import a list. I will pause just because bring up the files. But once I import the file, this will just be a TXT file. I'll show you what it looks like next for text import. If you're importing the JSON file from before, then of course that will automatically be able to create the file for you, but because it has all the extra details. But this will be a text file to show for a demo. So continuing on, I've just pressed the import and selected the file. You can see here this is a preview of what's in my text list that I'm importing, and this one here perhaps it's a let's say it's for housework. Category here, let's say it's we'll go personal housework. So No priority on this. You can see it telling me 10 items will be imported. So let me go ahead and import these. You can see here now I have another list, and if I go in here we can see my list items there, and of course I can choose to add to that. I can choose to delete that. If I'm working through this, I could choose to select that I've completed as I go through as well, so I can run it as a checklist like that too. So and let's say I've done these 3 things at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and save. You can see here now it's giving me an indication of how much completion I have. Now, as you populate more lists, you'll have different categories. As like I said, you can add more categories via the settings, but also at some point in time, you may like to switch between perhaps this type of view and maybe a list view. So a list view gives you a little bit more compact listing like this with a bit of the information. You can also limit it by certain categories too. You can see here we've only got 2 in the personal category, but you can filter it that way too. You can search for, so let's say I just wanted to search for trip lists, then you can see there, and I can also sort it by it's A to Z at the moment, but it can also be sorted by the most recent that we did, which of course was that one there as well. So it didn't change because most recent and the A to Z was the same there. So that's lists. If I was to go across to show you notes, so let's go ahead and we'll use this side this time. You can see that there's options to export notes from here as well. Let's go ahead and import. Actually, let's create a new note here. So we'll call this note, well, let's keep with the same trend. Let's say trip research. So options for Markdown, you can of course just type it in text. So use Google. Let's say use Google to help me find places where the temperature, I'm going to type pretty poorly here. Temperature is warm and sunny this time of year. Let's say it is January. Yep, which is January. Let's say I want, I'm looking for a resort that has a pool, let's say. And if we wanted to do some Markdown formatting, so you can see that there's 2 screens here at the moment. So at the moment, this one on the left, this is just straight your typing area for Markdown. The one on the right, so this one here, you can see if you want to preview it like this, this is actually like a preview, the formatted view. So if I go back to the split view, if I was to, let's say, give myself trip planning as a title, let's want to use some Markdown. Let's say this one is research. Yep, let's say this one is requirements. Okay, so you can see here this setup. This is draggable in the center too, so if you find that you want a slightly wider version here and you can just use a smaller version here, or vice versa, if you want to work there, you can do that as well. And of course you can switch between the 2 views to see in full as well. If you want to, you can also pop out the windows. So for example, sometimes you might be working on multiple notes at the same time. You might want to pop it out into a new window by itself. And you can see here, this new window has just a very basic controls. So the option to export to PDF, but it also has your category list on the side there. It has those different views as well. It doesn't have the extra details down the bottom, but it does allow you to expand this quite a bit to work on if you want to, or have multiple small windows open at the same time. So just closing back out of that, you can see here a few things. So down the bottom here, it's giving you an idea of character count. So there is an upper limit of character count. It is a soft limit, but at that point, the AI features are disabled because it affects how much the amount of tokens being used. So to keep your costs under control, there's a 10,000 soft limit there. Gives you an idea of the words. History here is if you have some saves. So at any point in time, you can choose to save a version. Now it is saving as you go. So if I was to type some quick text in here and just exit out, if I jump back in here, you can see it's saved straight away. I don't have to save this screen, but there is an option to save some versions if you want to. So if you're going to do some big overhauling and you want the option to go back, you could choose to save a version. And then if you can see it's automatically added in today's date. And if you go into history, you'll see that the options there to restore versions, options to delete versions as well. So this is an option there. There's a limit on how many versions you can store, but it's just there as an added bonus for a little bit of version control, just a very light version control. AI options, so we could jump into there. Let's say AI options. First off, maybe we want to fix the grammar. So if I was to choose this, it's going to give you an idea of the tokens that you used to. So how many tokens were used in sending and coming back as well. You can see it's automatically identified some options for me. So let's say I don't mind that it's not correct on that one, but I want to fix this one here. I can go ahead and apply selected. And you can see it's fixed that there for me. I can undo that change straight away if I want to. I don't have to, especially on a long doc. Maybe I want to see and have a read through. If I want to though, I can also then go back and restore to before. So it did an automatic backup before I made that. So that's a big feature there as well. AI options, I can do this, summarize the key points. I won't bother with this because there's not much in here. Can choose opposite viewpoints. So depending on what sort of writing you're doing, you can also do the improved writing. So you can make it more concise, you can make it more detailed, you can add a professional tone, you can add a warm and friendly tone. Up to you how you want to use this. These are just extra features that are available. So let's say perhaps I do want to make this more detailed. Let's go ahead and click it. This is going to give me it's going to send it off to AI, so you can see it's sent out, and this is what it's come back with. So it's giving me the original, and it's giving me an improved version. So it's giving me some suggestions, and this is pretty clever. It's giving me some suggestions of perhaps where I should go and look at, and maybe some other ideas about what I'm looking for in my requirements too. Again, keeping in mind this is AI, so AI is not perfect. You will want to review what it outputs to make sure that it works for what you're after and that it's correct for your situation with your note. But yeah, big feature there as well. So let's go ahead and apply this one in this case, and we'll just jump back to our notes screen. So we can go back there. There was a back button here as well, of course. Similarly, you can also view this in a list format, which gives you a bit more of a preview of the description. If you switch to the card view, it gives you a short one, but it gives you the full title information as well. And again, you have the option of filtering there. When you are in a note, you do have you do have the ability to actually go ahead and view a quick sidebar, so you can see your structure there. So as an example, let's say you decide that you want your own category that's travel, right? So this one here is trip research. So perhaps this fits better in travel. So I can close, or I can close it there. Perhaps here what I want to do is actually go ahead and update this category to travel. Okay, so if I go back here now, you can see that it's now in the travel category. I can directly open notes from here too in the other window, so that's a quick in case you want to view multiple notes. And you can also choose to do additional things here. So say for example travel, maybe I want to segment that by different types of travel. So perhaps I want it to be beaches, right? So I can add a subcategory under the category itself. If I decide that at some point in time this should be its own category, I can choose to move it out of the subcategory and it becomes its own category too. So another powerful aspect of that. You can search your notes from here as well. But let's say now, for example, it makes sense to make this one beaches. So that's a quick run through of notes. What else can I show you? There's the option to export to PDF, export to Word. You can copy the Markdown. So if you want to paste this into a tool that accepts Markdown, you can just copy the Markdown as well. You can delete. So let's go ahead and let's say we delete this note. You'll see here his trash. In 14 days this will, in 14 days this will be completely deleted. But you can at any point in time choose to restore. There is a prompt to let you know, remind you this is permanently deleted. But you can also choose to just go ahead and restore that back in, and you'll see here now that no longer in the trash, it's back in your notes. This one looks like a little bit of a bug where that didn't open up properly, but it will fix itself once you go back. Yeah. So there's the lists and notes at a brief sort of high level overview of how it works. Like I mentioned, you can customize, and you can see that one is added in there. You can add additional ones. There's some hints on how to set up these category and subcategories as well. You can use the AI, OpenAI or Anthropic for your your API for your AI use. Let's see, what else can I show you? I guess the only other thing is maybe have another look at dark mode. Let's say dark mode. So that's dark mode as well. So dark mode's quite nice. I personally prefer the light mode for writing notes generally, but sometimes it's nice to have that to be able to switch between as well. So that's a quick run through of lists and notes. Hope you enjoy using it. Thank you for watching.